Welcome everybody, Matt Horspool here with another review. Sorry, this one's a little bit convoluted. It's daytime now, yet we've already, when you're seeing the video, we'll have been shooting some earlier light because I'd wanted to do this introduction this morning, but it was just too dark. So first of all, in our little crew here today for our commercial shoot, I have Harrison,
okay,
Zach, and Liam's around there somewhere. There he is. Our little crew with a couple of other cars as well. We're just going on a commercial shoot for an outdoor adventure company in Australia here, one that we shoot for quite a bit. So I thought what better way to do a review than to take the flash and use it out on a real job. So a bit of a disclaimer first up, like I always do. Neewer reached out to me and asked if I would like to do a review with their new Q6 flash, and it was something that I wanted to kind of invest in somewhere down the line, an outdoor strobe that had a lot of power. I like the look of the specs, so I said yes, but Neewer will not have any input into what I say or my opinions, and they're not actually going to see this before I post it either. So I'll be going over some of the things I do like, and obviously nothing's perfect, so there are things that don't quite fit as well, and there's been a few technical issues with using it with my camera as well, but yeah, by and large this is going to be very off the cusp because the strobe didn't actually get to me until 2 days ago, and I didn't get a real good chance, or any chance really, to use it. And then the flash trigger, which I'll talk about as well, didn't actually wouldn't work with my camera either. So yeah, we'll touch on that very soon.
Of course, there's always going to be many features of a product like the Q6 that aren't going to be quite useful for me. Potentially down the line they will be, but I'm not going to cover all of the features of the Q6 because it would take forever and they just don't fit into my workflow. So you can either jump onto their website, I'll leave the link in the description below, or these are the main features anyway on the screen, and you can just screenshot those and look at them at a later date. All right, this is the bad boy. It's good. I'm going to change the mount on it.
So I think we'll get your car. Yep. Put it next to mine. Yep. And then get one of their freebies. I'll just bring it up there, and I'll probably angle it.
Got a little locating pin there that for this comes on. Oh yeah. This is my little flash trigger that I had to buy. You know, as mentioned before, little Godox one. Because as of time of filming, we didn't have a trigger for micro 4/3, but hopefully that will change very soon. So in the meantime, I'm going to use this little Godox one that should work with the new updated firmware for the Q6. Yeah, gives compatibility with the Godox X series, and this is their latest and greatest. So let's see. So just a couple of things that I look for in a flash, probably going to be a little bit different than what other people might be looking for in a flash. Because anyone who knows my work, I shoot a lot of content that will be in the middle of the day where just those two little strobes are just not going to be enough. So I shoot, normally I have up to 1, 2, sometimes 3 Olympus FL-700WR. I found limitations. So this is why I really love the specs of the Q6, because 600 watt seconds is far more superior than 140 watt seconds with 2 speedlights with the MagMod system on there. Another thing I look for is battery life. One of the reasons why I also like the Q6 was you can get up to 400 flash iterations out of one single battery, which is pretty good for 1-to-1 power like that. That's really high, and you won't be using that all the time. It comes with a removable battery that's chargeable off mains. It does come, you have to purchase a dummy battery if you would like to power it through there all the time. I did ask Neewer if they could send me a second battery to use as well, because being out in the field, not being able to charge the battery would have been a bit of an issue. And that takes about, from memory, from the spec sheet, I'll put it on, but I think it's about 2.5 hours maybe charging to full capacity. And the good thing is that the battery also has a power rating that is fine for taking it on planes. And I often fly for all my jobs, so taking they're pretty little batteries in my carry-on is not an issue. So speed and usability is a pretty important thing for me as well. And having a fast recycle time is one of the beauties of a powerful strobe like the Q6, because it's a removable battery that is far more powerful than the Speedlight. And obviously, just being a much more powerful and large light, you can have a really fast recycle time. And for people who don't understand what recycle time means, it means when I press the flash, press it again, if a really long recycle time due to the batteries not being able to supply enough power, the flash just won't fire. So having something as powerful as the Q6 that has a super fast recycle time of 0.01 seconds to 0.9 seconds means I can go bang, 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 using especially like the stroboscopic feature, and can actually shoot without having to wait. And that's really important, because if we've got talent, the light's fleeting, I want to be able to fire off those shots and not have to worry about the recycle time at all. Our campsite, and someone is, it's probably not ideal. Let me turn this around. A little bit of a fire. Interesting. Yeah, I think the form factor of this, the Q6 is a pretty unique aspect of the design, being a square and having that handle there. What do you reckon, Zach?
Yeah, really beneficial.
Yeah.
Really beneficial form factor and shape. That handle's just been really handy to pass it around.
Yeah, just bush bashing a bit here.
Really good to pass it around, but I really like how the weight is directly under the handle, so it's you can hold it with one hand up, and it's not flexing back on itself.
Yeah, when a lot of like other lights have the handle at the rear, you kind of have to hold it with two hands. The case has been very handy. How do you reckon, Liam? I would say though that it's an awkward shape to be lugging around though, right?
Yeah, it probably sticks out a little bit on the side.
Yeah, it's nice and tough. I'd be a bit worried about these pins. These bits just here, they often snap on. I've had them snap on bags before. What would be nice in the case is having a bit more, like some straps in there to stop the parts moving around. There's a spot for all of the parts, but because they're just kind of loose, when you close the lid, they fall out and can scratch the flash. So that's not ideal. So this is good. We've actually got a 30-watt modeling light here that we can use to shoot the video. Harrison, go. What are you doing?
Alright, is that better?
You want down more? You want warmer, colder?
Come up this way a bit, Liam. Come this side of the tree. Yep.
Do you want a grid on it to make it look like it's more of a spotty from a head torch? Okay, take that off, please. We'll put both on.
So with your sleeping bag, you just fluff it up. And then...
Too many. Do you have to increase the yeah. Is that enough, Harrison?
Yeah. Alright, guys, ready? Action.
Power are you on there?
Okay.
What's it say on the right?
1/5.
So it's the lowest power actually, and it's still good enough at blue hour. It's pretty dark here. Awesome, yeah. With a grid on as well.
Another key feature of the Q6 that is particularly useful for myself is having a flash or a strobe that high outputs, fast succession, but also keeping a great color accuracy across the board, because every time you change the power to brighter or to less powerful, some flash and some strobe have a noticeable Kelvin difference between each shot. And while that might not be an issue if you're just shooting one photo, if you're shooting a big succession of bursts, you do not want to spend that time in post-production having to change the color temperature to match all of the different shots in that burst sequence. That would be a nightmare. So Neewer rate pairs as having a discrepancy of maybe 100 Kelvin either way, so that's pretty good. So that's minor adjustments required in post.
So the flash comes with this kind of cover. It's a bit of a weird cover because this goes over the top, and then there's a bit that you can still touch the end of the bulb, and it comes with this thing too. It's like a diffuser panel, but it kind of doesn't stay in. So like, why don't they just glue that in? Bit odd. Anyway, that's what it comes with. One of the things I don't like about this, I'm not sure if it's just quality control of the model I have, but you see the frosting on this lens. I don't know if you can see it here. You can see if you touch that with your finger, it's kind of coming off. So getting the bulb in and out is actually really, really difficult to do. So I've been kind of using a cloth and then just gently jiggling it in and out. And you see the bulb here, and then putting it back in. It comes with this little piece of foam, which is pretty bloody useless if you ask me. And you can kind of stuff that in, or actually probably stuffs in the other way. And then push that back down with this, and it kind of sits flush. And there was another piece of foam there, but yeah, and that just kind of goes into the case just here. But I wish the case had something that could actually be like a hard cover for this, a little pouch, a hard pouch that this could go into, because it's really handy being able to pull the bulb out and pack this down in, because it's quite slim, as you can see here. Pack this into a hard case, but also have that packed into a hard case as well, like my Pelican. But in here, when this closes, you can see if I close that, that's going to break that. So you can't actually have those in there together, which is yeah, not a very good design, Neewer. I'd like to see a different layout of this and a proper case hard case for the bulb, if you're not storing the bulb inside the flash unit itself. So I think it's better just to store this when you're not putting it in a Pelican, and putting it back in here, trying to get it in the holes. And then, yeah, see the frosting's wiping off even when I'm just doing that, so not very good. Got the app open here, and I've already added the device. You can see the Q6 here. You click on it, and you basically have all of the options here. Turn the power on. That should be a model. Oh, actually, we've got to connect to it first, I think. How will you connect to it? Yeah, well, anyway, you've got all of these. Oh, there we go. That's fired off. I don't know why. There was a huge delay there, as you can see, so that shouldn't be happening. Modeling lamp, time lapse, constant color temperature, which is one of the cool modes of it, burst mode, device name. Anyway, that test was very slow. See this little battery icon here. There's this little battery icon here is red, saying the battery's dead, but battery is definitely not dead. The test is not working. There we go, went off. There was quite a lot of delay then. The app was working really brilliantly before, As you can see, there's obviously some bugs. Look how close I am to the flash, and it's not controlling it. There's a lot of lag. So yeah, app, maybe those star ratings are there for a reason. So undoubtedly one of the biggest draw cards of the Q6 and any of the newer products, sorry, my pronunciation, is always the price. It's like all of their products, you have a look online on Amazon or wherever, the price is really, really competitive compared to all of the other brands. How they do that, I'm sure there's some quality control issues, some corners that have been cut. The materials might be a little subpar compared to others, but that price difference is so massive that you need to kind of factor in, do you really need those high-end brands? And now, after using the Q6 now on that shoot, I feel the build quality is actually pretty astounding. The usability is phenomenal. Ignore the trigger issues I had, because if you have a compatible camera with the Q trigger, it's not going to be an issue. The Godox worked fine for me. Obviously the app had a few troubles, but honestly I wouldn't be using the app anyway for my type of work. I would be using a manual trigger. I only shoot in manual, I don't use TTL, but TTL is there as an option. High speed sync I would use, but I guess using an ND filter, which I have on me all the time, means I can make use of all of the flash power, which is way more beneficial. So all in all, like, I think Neewer have an Australian price sale now for like $570 or something, which is incredible for a 600 watt second strobe. There is nothing else on the market like that. Even at RRP, I think it's like $670 Australian, which is astounding. It kind of makes me want to buy a second one to use because I often use multi-strobe setup. So at that price, that's almost cheaper than buying one of my Olympus strobes again, Speedlights again. So yeah, pretty amazing. The quality and the power output that you get from this, I guess time will tell on how long things last, but the build quality seems pretty astounding as is. The case, can be better, but the actual unit itself, pretty damn good. So I'm excited to see the kind of content that I can capture with this in the future. So any questions, please do drop them in the comments below. And on that one, thank you.